we even begin talking about the movie, I think we have to appreciate the work done by the marketing team. The trailers, the posters, all the artwork didn't just cater to the general public and the general audience who were excited about a film like Suicide Squad, but definitely the comic book fans. Harley Quinns, Jokers, Deadshots, all of them. So kudos to them for that. But the question remains, was it really a supervillain blockbuster? Was it something that was fun-filled? Definitely. It was kind of a mixed bag. But I'm going to first talk about what we need to appreciate most about the film. Definitely the characters of Harley Quinn and Deadshot, Will Smith and Margot Robbie. They kind of stole the show with their one-line wicked sense of humor, and at the same time they had great chemistry. But what it made me feel like was that by overemphasizing these characters, we didn't really get to know the backstories of the other characters who were playing these other supervillains. So I felt like even though they stole the show, the other characters were kind of sidelined. And that's one problem that I had with the film. Because even the backstories of Harley Quinn and Deadshot was so much more prominent. Everybody knew so much more about them than they did about the other characters. And that seemed a little unfair. Now coming to the backstories. The Joker, supposed to be a big part of the film, but we don't see him as much as we'd like to. His character was quite poorly conceived, even though it was meant to be there because he was a part of the original story of Harley Quinn. That being said, Jared Leto, in the very few minutes of the film that he's a part of, he did a pretty great job. Some of his gestures, sometimes even his voice, kind of reminded you of Heath Ledger. But undoubtedly, he is a new Joker, and he kind of stole the show with just a little bit of his character. I would have loved to have seen more of him, but I guess maybe the next movie. Coming to the backstories, well, we see the Joker, who we were all really, really looking forward to seeing in this film, as a part of Harley Quinn's backstory. But there were certain pros and cons to him being there. One, Jared Leto brought out this whole new Joker, who sometimes reminded you of Heath Ledger with the way that he spoke, his voice and his gestures, but I think he's an all-new Joker in the supervillain scene. That being said, he kind of wasn't really there in the film. Every time we hoped to see him, he showed up and he disappeared before we could even tell. So his character was a bit poorly conceived. The little bit that he did do, he did it really, really well, and we were all super impressed with the way that Jared Leto performed. Although we didn't expect much less from him anyway. All of his scenes were kind of not really a part of the main story, but he did make it exciting, and his presence was felt as something really significant, but was kind of lost under everything else that was happening. But if we're going to talk about the real badass villain in this film, it has to be Viola Davis. She convinced us that if anyone can control superhumans, it was her. And she kind of made me wish that maybe she could have had a backstory too. Maybe she had an origin that we would have liked to have seen. Well, I'd like to think that the movie could have had more depth, had more character in it, because we didn't really understand who the characters were, especially non-comic book fans were kind of confused as to what the characters were doing, where they got their superpowers from, and like I've said before, there weren't too many backstories. Also, if it wasn't like every other film where these criminals are trying to fight this faceless CGI army to get rid of this big blue beaming light from the sky, it would have been a little more exciting if they didn't have that plot, because it seemed like it's a repetition of so many movies that we've already seen before. Also, since it was a PG-13 movie, really wasn't as much blood and gore as we expected, but they are humans who are fighting superhumans, so we kind of expected that a little bit at least. And yes, I think we've seen too much of that already. One reason why we expected something new and something more exciting than the usual is because here the criminals are saving the world. So maybe a different plot, maybe a different idea to the whole supervillain film. Well, I guess we were a little disappointed with that. And what was with these ill-defined characters anyway? The Japanese lady whose name nobody remembers, who kind of talks to her sword at one point in the film, and then we don't really see her do much. Or what about the guy who dies right in the start through that killer app? What were they even doing in the film? Why were they there? Who were they in the first place? I don't think anybody remembers. It's also the characters that kind of keep us interested in the film. Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney, was actually pretty great. But that guy who played Killer Croc, whose name I'm sorry I can't pronounce, kind of disappointed us in the beginning, but then made us laugh a bit towards the end when his first dialogue was, "I like her," which nobody understood why he even said. But then he made it humorous and funny and kind of added lots of humor and value to the film. One character that I really liked was El Diablo. He was played by Jay Hernandez, and he did such a good job as a supervillain who didn't want to use his powers. You guys have seen, you guys will know that he was actually trying to seek repentance, he was trying to seek forgiveness, and he did it in such a great way. Rick Flag, played by Joel Kinnaman, was pretty great, and I really liked his role until I found out that Tom Hardy was going to play that role, and then it was kind of disappointing. But overall, all the characters did a pretty fantastic job. Harley Quinn and Deadshot being this, they stole the show. There was no one else to beat what they played, the way they delivered their roles, and the kind of fun that they brought to the film. Even the character of the Enchantress, nobody remembered that she was in the film until we saw her on screen. So she was kind of a forgettable character, although she was meant to play such a big role in the film, and we saw her in the trailer. Kind of disappointed us, not with the way that she acted though. She did her job really well, although there were certain scenes that made me feel like she was dancing instead of actually doing her job. But you know, I think we enjoyed her. We enjoyed her as much as we could, but definitely not a rememberable character. Not someone that we're going to remember after the movie's over. Because until now, I completely forgot to mention her. So one thing that I found was exciting and disappointing at the same time happened to be the soundtracks. Although the soundtracks were great and I found myself quickly taking my phone out just to Shazam them, I felt like it was overplayed. One reason could be that they had absolutely no background music and all of them were soundtracks from different albums. It felt like they were trying to overdo it at different points just to add effect, and that could have been tuned down just a little bit. Overall, I'd have to say it was a great film. 3D was avoidable, but I think that the characters did a great job. There was great sense of humor. It was surrounded by some awesome tracks and some pretty kick-ass fighting scenes, but loose plot and a forgettable villain. So I was kind of disappointed, and it was a movie that I've been waiting to see since March. So I have to say, overall, a bit of a disappointment, but I did fall in love with so many of the characters. Hey everyone, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up below, and we'll be coming up with new videos soon, so do check us out. Also check out Lost Trailers and subscribe to our channel.